Kata Yahuwah Elohenu, Melech HaOlam, HaKodesh, Hashem Yahshua Mashiach, Selah. This is a blessing because now we know that YouTube, well, we already knew this, but now it's obvious that it's not anything to do with medicine. It has nothing to do with any of the vaccinations that this channel is now being cut off and being looked at, but it's because of the truth. Okay? I love that YouTube just did that. I love it. And it's a blessing from the Most High that I could be on this side of the fence, that I could be on the side of righteousness, that what I'm speaking is such a threat, that the oracles and the word of the Most High is such a threat that they feel like they have to cut off the live stream and the feed. I love it. What we're going to do right now, though, is we're going to keep it pushing. I hope all of you go ahead and share that last video. Keep it, okay? Keep it and watch it, okay? Keep it and watch it while it's still up. They might not give me access to go back and make it public, even though all live streams are supposed to be public when I push them out. Okay, I always have to go to the back end and I have to recorrect what YouTube is doing and I have to press public to make it public so y'all can see it. Okay, I have to make it public so that y'all can see it. All right, we're gonna keep it pushing. I hope that y'all, from now on, whenever that live stream freezes like that, and it totally freezes, and y'all are rocking with the live stream and rocking with me, just go head on and shut that video down, and you can expect that I'll be coming back. Sometimes, and this is where it gets tricky. The last 2 times this has happened, YouTube shut the whole app down on me. The whole app has been shut down. Usually, if the feed goes out, I can resume the stream. So I understand why y'all stick around. Because I can resume the stream and the stream goes right back to where it left off, even though it was frozen. In these particular cases, though, the whole app is being shut down, y'all. Literally, the screen goes black. And for like 10 seconds or so, I can't even access YouTube on my app, on my phone. Okay? Then when I go back and I hit the little plus sign to go live, there is no opportunity for me to resume the previous live stream. So this is a whole new live stream. You see what I'm saying? So all praises to the Most High. We know what time it is. We know where we are in the land. We know who we up against. We know this is spiritual warfare. I'm a hard head for the Most High. Ain't nobody finna stop this truth from going out. Ain't nobody finna stop me from speaking the word of the Most High. And I hope that don't nobody stop my brothers out here doing the same. Okay? But let's get into it. So we just talked about not observing Christmas and not observing Christmas trees. Not cutting down trees to observe that whole so-called tradition. Okay? That's a heathen, pagan tradition. Thank you, family. Thank you. So, what we got to do is observe the actual high holy days and feast days of the Most High. So, what is Hanukkah about? What is the Feast of Dedication about? Let's get it. It's difficult to read about the Feast of Dedication when you're dealing with the KJV in the versions that we have it today. If you have a KJV that doesn't have the Apocrypha in it, it would be very difficult to read about the Feast of Dedication and the reasons, the reasons behind why we observe the Feast of Dedication. But what we're going to see before I get into the Feast of Dedication is that Yahshua did not celebrate Christmas. They like to say in Christianity that it is a celebration of Yahshua's birthday. But Yahshua HaMashiach did not even celebrate his own birthday. Yahshua HaMashiach did not idolize himself. Yahshua HaMashiach did not decree that we should celebrate Christmas and celebrate his birthday. But you know what Yahshua did? Yahshua did keep the law, statutes, commands, and feast days and holy days of the Most High. And one of those feast days was the Feast of Dedication, aka Hanukkah. How do we know this? Let's go to the so-called New Testament before we even touch the Apocrypha, because I know there are many people who are just now coming into the truth of being a Hebrew Israelite, and are just now coming into the truth that there were books removed from the modern day version of the King James Bible that were in the original scriptures, in the original writings. And those books are titled apocryphal books. So there's still many people who are afraid to read those books and haven't got over the mental conditioning of that they received before they moved into the truth of being a Hebrew Israelite. So how do we know that the apocryphal books are good for us and good for digestion? Well, here's one reason. We're going to see what Yahshua did during this time of the year. Okay? In the book of John, chapter 10, verse 22, we read, and it was at Jerusalem, or Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. And Yahshua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Now, let's go to verse 14. I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have no power to lay it down, and I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. There was a division, therefore, among the Jews for these sayings, and many of them said, He hath the devil in his mouth. Why hear ye him? Others said, These are not the words of him that hath a devil. Can a devil open the eyes of the blind? Now, where did all these statements in this movement take place? And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. Okay, and Yahshua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. So now we know that the feast of dedication was a valid ceremony and a valid festival and a valid feast for not only the Yahudim, okay, in the time of Yahshua, but also Yahshua himself. This is where great speeches were spoken by Yahshua, okay, to the scribes, Pharisees, and to the Yahudim in the Temple of Solomon, okay, at the time of the Feast of Dedication. Now, what is the Feast of Dedication? Let's go to 2 Maccabees, chapter 10, verses 1 through 8. Now Maccabeus and his followers, Yahuwah leading them all, recovered the temple and the city. They tore down the altars that had been built in the public square by the foreigners or the Gentiles, and also destroyed the sacred precincts. They purified the sanctuary and made another altar of sacrifice. Then, striking fire out of flint, they offered sacrifices after a lapse of 2 years. And they offered incense and lighted lamps and set out the bread of the presence. So during the time of the Maccabees, of Maccabeus, the Romans and the Greeks were in the temple. They were slaughtering pigs, all sort of unclean things in the temple, as an abomination to Yahuwah, as a scourge, and as a slap in the face to the laws, statutes, and commands of the Most High to the children of Israel. And the Yahudim, meaning the 3 southern kingdoms who were left in Jerusalem at that time. Okay? So Maccabeus, okay, and the rest of the Jews at that time began to purify the sanctuary and made another altar of sacrifice. Then, striking fire out of flint, they offered sacrifices after a lapse of 2 years, and they offered incense and lighted lamps and set out the bread of the presence. When they had done this, they fell prostrate and implored Yahuwah that they might never again fall into such misfortunes, but that if they should ever sin, they might be disciplined by him with forbearance and not be handed over to blasphemous and barbarous nations. Okay? The blasphemous and barbarous nations being the Romans and Grecians, okay? It happened that on the same day on which the sanctuary had been profaned by the foreigners or the Gentiles, the purification of the sanctuary took place. That is, on the 25th day of the same month, which was Kislev, okay? They celebrated it for 8 days with rejoicing in the manner of the festival of booths, remembering how not long before, during the festival of booths, they had been wandering in the mountains and caves like wild animals. Therefore, carrying ivy wreathed wands and beautiful branches and also fronds of palm, they offered hymns of thanksgiving to him who had given success to the purifying of his own holy place. They decreed by public edict, ratified by vote, that the whole nation of the Jews should observe these days every year. Okay. Such then was the end of Antiochus, who was also called Epiphanes. Now, basically, what we're seeing is that Hanukkah, okay, finally back. Yeah, Princess Star. They shut it down, and hopefully you can scroll back to the beginning of this particular live stream, and you can see why they did it. Now we know that what I said yesterday had nothing to do with so-called medicine, okay, but everything to do with the truth itself. Today I did not mention anything about anything that had to do with medicine, and yet they still shut the live stream down. And I know it was because I said, hi, YouTube. I hope y'all know what's happening, okay? I hope y'all know what's going on. So they know I got a great audience today. And my whole thing is thank the Most High, praise the Most High. All praises to the Most High, because that means that what I'm saying and what is being said through me is the truth. Is that Liddy Smitty? Hey, Brother K, what it do? What it do, family? What it do? What it do? Shout out to my act one time. What it do, bruh? So look, we know that what's being said through me is on the right side of the fence, okay? We know this now. So we not gonna give up. We not gonna give in. We was born champions. We was made to win. Y'all know it. But the dedication, it took place because there was a lot of wickedness, blasphemous, idolatrous, and barbarous people that were housed within the nation, the Temple of Solomon. Okay? And this is in Jerusalem. Okay? That temple had to be rededicated to the Most High. So when Maccabeus and his followers, who were other Yehudim, other Jews, were able to retake the temple, they rededicated it to Yahuwah. Okay? And that rededication was after the way of the Feast of Tabernacles. Remember, we just did Feast of Tabernacles, right? That was an 8-day celebration, if you remember. Okay? That was an 8-day celebration, 8-day festival, an 8-day recognition of our people being brought from the wilderness on our way to the promised land. And we were to build booths, dwell within the booths, okay, as a sign and symbol that the Most High was covering us. Okay? Now, that temple of Solomon, the Solomon's temple, was the further symbol that the Most High decreed to Solomon to be, well, to David to be built. Solomon would do the building, and all of Solomon's carpenters and all of the people that was commissioned to build it, obviously. But that was a sign, the temple's dimensions were a sign of the body of Yahuwah on earth, okay? And we were to dwell within the holy place. We were to congregate within the holy place, okay? Now, when the Romans and Grecians came in and began their idolatrous and barbarous and blasphemous ways, it was a slap in the face of the Yehudim and in the face of Yahuwah to then slaughter and sacrifice unclean animals on the altars of the Most High. And that's exactly what the Romans did. They came in, began to slaughter the swine, the pigs, and all sorts of other unclean animals on these altars. Okay? And it shouldn't have been like that. It was a total slap in the face. So what Maccabeus and the other Yehudim were able to do was take back the temple and rededicate the temple back to Yahuwah. And this is where Hanukkah comes from. And this dedication, this rededication was so prevalent and so powerful that even Yahshua himself observed the Feast of Dedication, okay? AKA Hanukkah. But nowhere in the scriptures do you see, yes, that's dope, bruh. Nowhere in, all praise to the Most High, nowhere do you see in the scriptures, children of Israel, you are to celebrate Christmas. Nowhere in the scriptures do you see Yahshua decree to us that we are to celebrate a day called Christmas that Christians tell us is his birthday celebration. Nowhere do we see that. Nowhere do we see in the scriptures, hey, children of Israel, hey, people, replay what the wise men did for Yahshua when he was born by giving gifts to Joseph and Mary on his behalf. Nowhere do we see that in Scripture. Instead, what we see is keeping the high feast days, keeping the holy days of the Most High. That's what we do see in Scripture. And unfortunately, because we are still in the place of our captivity, unfortunately, because we are deaf, dumb, and blind, unfortunately, because many of us still do not know who we are culturally, many of us still do not know our national identity as Hebrew Israelites, many of us still do not know the actual blood descent that we come from, the biological people who we are, the people who we are biologically speaking. We are still inundated with lies. We are still chasing after lies. We are still following after pagan holidays, meaning holidays that do not have anything to do with the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. We are still believing lies. And many of us, even though we are moving into the knowledge that we are Hebrew Israelite people, regardless of how we identify ourselves today, we are still cleaving unto the lie. We are still chasing after and being peer pressured into doing those pagan holidays, those holidays of the nations, those holidays of the Gentiles. Because now, even though we Hebrew Israelite, let's just keep it 100, and we know this, as soon as we tell a family member who we are and they call us crazy, oh, that's enough for the best of us to fall on back and be like, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am tripping. Maybe I'm not no Hebrew Israelite, because I thought mama and them who went to church every Sunday would be happy to hear about this. I thought Granny dragged me to church every Sunday and on Wednesday and on Tuesday and on Thursday. Should we stay in the church? I would have thought Granny and Mama would have been the first ones to have been proud to hear this after this was revealed to us. But no, Granny and Mama still think that we Gentiles. They calling me crazy. They calling you crazy. Now they praying over us like we got something wrong with us. But I bet you on Thanksgiving they still cook that pineapple ham, that honey glazed ham. Big Mama and them still saying, no, baby, you going to eat whatever you want to eat. It's okay as long as you pray over it. Well, how am I praying over something to be blessed by the Most High that the Most High decreed as being unclean? How does that work? How does that really work? And I think that I'm going to be blessed for this. Okay? And it's the same way with the Christmas tree. It's the same way with the gifts. It's the same way with the ornamentation. It's the same way with decking out the Christmas tree. It's the same way with the Yule log. The Yule log is a Babylonian tradition. Now, unless you have older encyclopedias, you might not know that the Yule log tradition was actually a representation of a human body given as a sacrifice to Molech. Okay? In Babylon, they would take children and throw them in the fire as a sacrifice to the god Molech. Okay? Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. And as traditions kept on increasing, they began to change the baby and the child into a tree, into a log. And that log would be tossed into the fire and everybody would celebrate it. Everybody would celebrate it. That's where the Yule log comes from. Okay? The Yule log tradition. So all of this stuff that people sing about during this time of the year and all they little melodies making it seem oh so wonderful. You're walking through the store, it's nothing but the good Christmas vibes. You're hearing all the jolly songs and the tunes and all of this type of stuff. That's wrong. According to what the Most High is saying in the scriptures, that is. Now, it's right according to what society says. But this is where we have to decide who are we following after. Okay? Shabbat Shalom to all the Hebrew Israelites scattered to the four corners of the world. I hope that everybody is doing well today. I hope that everybody is feeling well, and I hope that everybody's getting ready to rest and reflect on this Shabbat. Okay? But so I wanted to read those precepts to you. We talked about Jeremiah chapter 10 before the live stream was originally cut off. And then we just bounced back, finishing with John chapter 10, verse 22, and 2 Maccabees chapter 10, verses 1 through 8. Run it by me, bruh. Run it by me real quick if you can. If you can type it. If you can type it, go on and hit me with it. If you got to email it to me, you can email it to me too. The Real True Jew, I know, TV. Okay. Okay. Doc TV. I'm gonna have to look up, bro. I'm gonna have to look up, bro. But yeah, so the real true Jew at gmail.com. I think he should be on his show. Can do a breakdown. All right, fam. Hey, set it up. Set it up, Kev. All right. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. But yeah, our people need to know this. Our people need to know this truth because one of the biggest things about leaving Christmas and Thanksgiving alone that I realized in my experience, okay, one of the biggest things that I realized in my experience is that a lot of us are nervous to leave Thanksgiving and Christmas alone because we still like to be festive. We like to turn up. We like to party. And so if we don't have a replacement for what it is we've grown accustomed to, it's harder for us to leave that thing alone. That's what I learned. But see, just like we was called African American, Afro American, Black, and all this type of stuff, freemen, and all this type of stuff, we only held on to those titles as bywords because we didn't know who we really were. But now that we know who we are, we can do away with all those bywords and all those false titles and claim our true nationality. And it's the same way with all these holidays that we've been inundated with. We don't leave Easter alone in the Easter egg hunt because we don't know about Passover or Pesach. Okay? We don't leave Thanksgiving alone because we don't know about the Feast of Tabernacles. We don't leave Christmas alone because we don't remember about the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah, our true holiday. So, excuse me. So as soon as we are able to recognize who we are, recognize that we already have a culture that's been long intact, but that we was removed from, we can begin to do the work to reanalyze ourselves and to reacclimate ourselves back into that culture. And then standing strong in that culture, guess what? We could then take those cultural days and those cultural festivities back unto ourselves and reclaim them and live within them. And so it's not like I'm saying, hey, leave Christmas alone and don't do nothing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is leave Christmas alone, but relearn the days that are actually in this time frame. In the wintertime, our people traditionally dealt with the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah. So now that you know that, I don't know any child that only wanted Christmas to last one day. All wanted Christmas to last a week, a month, a year. We was like, man, I wish Christmas could be every day. And now, as a Hebrew Israelite, that you know who you are, now you can look at Hanukkah and say, whoa, I get an 8-day celebration. Better than one day. I get to do this for 8 days. And it's none of that peer pressure of trying to lie to my children. It's none of that peer pressure of trying to hide gifts. It's none of that peer pressure trying to maintain the lie. Being upset if someone should come along and bust my baby's bubble when I wasn't ready to tell them the truth yet. It's better than harboring a lie to my children. And then when they grow up and find out the truth for themselves, now they have resentment toward me and feel like it's okay to lie to me in my house. But I'm the one who set the precedent of lying in the first place. So why am I getting mad at my children when they start lying to me about things that ain't got nothing to do with Christmas? And we wondering why our houses are so destroyed. So look, on this Shabbat Shalom, we gonna keep it going. We gonna keep it lit. Got my Aunt Mitty Smitty in the house. I really appreciate your presence today, bruh. It's great to tap in with you. Real talk. I hope everything is going well for you on the home front, family. And we definitely got to tap in outside of this live stream for sure. But my whole thing is this. My whole thing is this, y'all. The truth is being targeted right now on all fronts. Okay? This is I don't even know how many times, but it's the second day in the row where it's actually happened where the app was shut down and cut off. Okay? And I wasn't able to resume the live stream. This is the first time that I got a warning from YouTube telling me that what I was saying was wrong for the community and they had to take my video down. And I said absolutely nothing wrong. I don't curse in these videos and these live streams. Okay? I don't use foul language. I don't embarrass our people. I don't objectify our women. I don't speak in a way where our children will be harmed. I do my best to protect our image reflect the image of the Most High as created within us. Okay? My job is to be a light unto the world, just like it's your job. And so, yes, they're hating. They don't like what I'm saying and what's being said through me. But that's to be expected. So my point in saying all this is family. I hope that you're taking the notes. I hope that not only are you watching, but that you're also learning and incorporating what's being said so that you can do your own due diligence yourself and prove what I'm saying to be right or wrong. If what I'm saying is wrong, family, please have enough love on your heart to tap in with me on the one and let me know why I went wrong. Okay? If what I'm saying is wrong, family, thank you. All praises to the Most High. Okay, so the family who's been supporting this channel knows that I'm not here to serve no nastiness. I'm not here to be perverse. I'm not here to be blasphemous. I'm not here to be anything but a son and child of the Most High. And I hope that the example put forth through me is an inspiration and motivation enough to my family to say, you know what, bruh is doing this, and I can do it too because we need more soldiers out here. Everybody is not going to say the same thing how one person is saying it. Everybody don't have the same reach. Everybody don't have the same influence. Everybody don't have the same zeal. Some zeal is more increased than other people's zeal. And all of that energy has to be given toward the Most High. And all of us have to do our part. We're all a part of the body of Yahshua Mashiach. We all ain't a thumb. We all not a finger. We all not a hand. We all not an arm. We all not an eyeball. We all not a little dangling piece in the throat. We all not a tongue. We all not ears. Everybody is a different part of the body to make up the whole body. And everybody have a function. But if one body part don't function, then the body's going to suffer. And this is what we have to realize. We are all different parts of the body. And working together, we have an athletic, pure, smooth working functioning body. But when one of us drops the ball as a body part, then the body going to start going through ailments. The body going to start going through conditions and issues that it don't have to go through until that part is rectified, until that part is remediated, until that part is fixed. And then the body can function soundly again. Okay? So look, as the Shabbat Shalom, as the Shabbat begins, Shabbat Shalom to the four corners of the world. Thank y'all for joining me today. It's your brother True Jew tapping in with y'all the only way I know how, raw, real, and uncut. We gonna sign out again. HANUKKAH, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Melech HaOlam, HaKodesh, Yahshua Mashiach, Selah, Amen, Ashe. That's basically to say, benevolent are you, Yahuwah, our Elohim, our King, okay, King of the universe, okay? Then it's to say, through the Ruach HaKodesh, or through the set apart of Holy Spirit, okay? In the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, okay?